The country is in chaos. Explosions over D.C. were reported just a couple of hours ago. Explosions over Washington. Tremors reported. The U.S. Air Force scrambled. What really happened? Was something shot down? Was there a drone? I don't think so, but a lot of people are reporting that it could have been. There's a lot of information and misinformation flying around right now over reports that started coming in mid-afternoon today. Sonic booms, explosions over D.C. As one reporting site said, a huge boom or explosion in Washington, D.C. It seems people from Northern Virginia to Maryland are reporting in. It shook homes on Capitol Hill. Does anyone know what this is? Volcano and earthquake monitoring sites started reporting seismic-like events possible. They said it was maybe an earthquake near Alexandria, Sunday, June 4th, 2023. According to the reports, we see a quote, "We are receiving unverified early information of ground shaking possibly caused by seismic activity in Alexandria, Virginia, June 4th, 2023, approximately 1907 GMT. There's no details, they say, on the magnitude or the depth. If confirmed, we expect more data, more accurate data, to start to come through." Agencies began damage control immediately, stating that an unresponsive aircraft caused the deployment of emergency fighter jets to remove the aircraft from the sky. Information remained relatively gray, discussing more than that in the details. The FAA did just confirm a small jet crashed after fighter jets were scrambled, allowed to go hypersonic to attack it, but they report that no contact was made. So what exactly happened? There's still a lot of confusion right now at the time of this recording, but what we do know is that America is on edge. The government fully understands that we have started engaging in a multi-nation war with Russia. So they're, in many ways, just waiting for Russia to act or react to what we have already done in their homeland. Now, in related news to this world at war, now agencies are beginning to catch on, understanding fully that once Ukrainian allies, that's America, the UK, all of NATO, some Indo-Pacific countries started giving their full support to Ukraine, and worse, started fanning the flames of civil war inside of Russia, the world could never go back. I want you to listen to this report on exactly what is happening inside of Russia as it starts being torn down by disruptive civil chaos. Everything changed, they say. Now the war has arrived on Russia's doorstep. Over the last couple of days, a 27-year-old teacher in a Russian town near the Ukrainian border heard the distinct, or is reported to have heard the distinct sound of multiple rocket launchers striking for the first time. Shelling began around 3 a.m. It shook the house. It continued into the morning. He had heard the thud of explosions in distant villages, he said. In October, shelling damaged a nearby shopping mall. But it was nothing like this, they say. Now everything has changed. 15 months after Russian missiles first flew toward Ukraine, residents of the Russian border region of Belgorod are starting to understand that a horror of war is coming to their doorstep. One town of 40,000, 6 miles from the border, has effectively become a new front line, the reports are saying. Ukraine is intensifying the attacks there inside of Russia. Residential areas are being evacuated. Assault, most recently by militia groups, or what is being called anti-government militia groups that are aligned against Moscow, have sparked a large military evacuation effort in Russia. The town became a ghost town in 24 hours, they say. This is Ruslan, who evacuated on Thursday. In the last several days, reporting outlets are interviewing more than a dozen residents in the border region, getting a sense of deepening anxiety and what a war feels like to people who never thought it would happen. You see, in Florida, Texas, California, New York, Washington State, the people never think a war will come to America. But it will. It will either come to America from an outside country, or it will come to America from within. You cannot spark civil unrest in Russia without Russia sparking civil unrest in America. You can't be part of Canada, giving your alignment to Ukraine without Russia condemning you as an enemy. And when Russia condemns you as an enemy, who do you think has the ear of Iran? Who do you think has the understanding of what other country with rogue elements inside of your nation should begin to activate and act within that country? It is Russia. One individual says that this town was wonderful. It was a flowery village on the border of Ukraine. It had happy and neighborly people. That's Daria, 37 years old, works in the public sector. Now we see only pain, death, and misery live on inside our city. There's no power, no public transport, no open businesses, no residents. It is an empty shell of a city, shattered town with smoke. The hardship is familiar to people in war. We've seen this happen in Syria. We saw it happen in Egypt. We've seen it happen in African countries. Now it's happening inside of Ukraine and inside of Russia. Many Russians did not expect this, they say, especially not on their home turf. Explosions are audible at the time of the recording. We're seeing multiple reports in. People who had previously tried to go about their daily lives, still going to work, still sending the kids off to school, still doing all of these things, are now reporting that they are simply unable to continue. That's what you're getting ready for. That's why you're a survivalist. That's why you're a prepper. That's why you're a homesteader, or that's just why you're a smart MFer in this world run by chaotic and evil individuals. You see, they have no choice. If they want to retain power, they must send your children to die in war. We'd like to think that as humans, we have moved beyond this very primal instinct of you only keep what you take. But that's absolutely not true. This whole world only keeps what it takes. Now, it can either take it through diplomatic understandings. It can take it through monopolizing corporations. It can take it through taxation. It can take it through anything. But the world is run by only keeping what you steal, what you take over, what you overpower, what you kill for. Now we're starting to see a reintroduction to this general state of mind because people know, they're saying go to China and turn it to glass. That's Americans. Americans are saying go to Russia and heat that bee so that it's nothing left. Moscow doesn't exist anymore. And we see our military getting ready for what is going to be the longest fight that we have probably ever had, at least the longest fight that we have seen in literal generations. Ever since your grandparents lived through or died in world wars, now we are going to see this sort of reintroduction to violence, and it is not going to be nice. It's going to be a time of despair in your family. So everything that you can do today provides even a little bit of a buffer. You know, you've seen people who maybe consider themselves survivalists and they're just doing nothing but purchasing massive amounts of ammunition. But if they're not training at a range and if they're not ready to say that being Rambo is not going to make them survive it, and instead they need to have an evacuation plan, but be ready to fight when necessary, they're doing it wrong. There is no amount of things that you can purchase that will get you out of this. Instead, everything that you purchase will just provide a little bit more of a buffer. So that's what we're doing here on this channel today, every day, is we're trying to provide you and your family with a buffer. Do what you can and do nothing more. I want to read to you a little bit more about what is happening. They say we are at a turning point now. That's Oleg. He's a business person. When this started, the people who opposed it here were a minority. Now, after days of being shelled, people are changing their minds. And that's actually what Ukraine, NATO, to what America wants to happen. They want to manipulate the minds of the people by making them uncomfortable, making them scared, making them fearful that they're going to see death and destruction in their homeland. Russia knows that game plan, and I'm going to argue that Russia can play this game better. Russia will bring death and destruction to American soil. When you see all of these shootings, When you see all of these violent attacks, when you see the gangs, when you see all these things, do not think for a moment that outside enemy combatant countries and their forces do not have puppet masters at play within those organizations, within those events that are taking place through either social media, manipulation, fear-mongering, no matter what it is. These countries know what to do. They have plans. They have masters and professors at play just to change the environment of your country. So all I'm asking you to do today is just do what you can to get ready. I want to thank you for being here with us. And if you have an idea of what maybe scared the White House so much, scared the government, scared the Pentagon, let us know. Drop a hint down in the comment box. From my family to yours, please stay safe, remain vigilant, and keep watch.